What's up, family? Welcome into Speak. We have breaking NFL news for the reigning Super Bowl champs. But first, let's get to introductions. That is Dave Helman, cover of all things NFL football. This is the brilliant one and only Joy Taylor. And
It's me.
Eagles all-time rushing leader, Mr. Interrupter himself, LeSean McCoy. Back to the breaking news. I'm Emmanuel Acho. That's not breaking. That's boring. This is breaking. Baker Mayfield headed to Los Angeles. He was released yesterday by the Carolina Panthers. The Los Angeles Rams. Remember, they were in the Super Bowl last year. They won the Super Bowl last year. They put their starting quarterback, Matt Stafford, on IR. They claimed Baker Mayfield, former Heisman winner, former number 1 overall pick. It is a huge deal, but it's a bigger deal for the San Francisco 49ers. Why? Because the 49ers are actually winning that division. They are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC West. They lost their starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, the same Jimmy Garoppolo that was in the Super Bowl in 2019. They lost him to a foot injury on Sunday, meaning they have to start a 7th-round pick, Brock Purdy. He did throw 2 touchdown passes on Sunday, but is he good enough to carry the water for the next 7 to 8 weeks? That is how long Jimmy Garoppolo is out. You cannot overstate how big these quarterback transactions have been the last 24 hours. So, Shady, I'm coming to you first. San Francisco 49ers, without Jimmy Garoppolo, missed out on Baker Mayfield. Are they legit Super Bowl contenders starting Brock Purdy?
I think so. I'm going to say yes. When I heard the news about Jimmy G getting hurt, I was devastated. Like, dang, they have a good team doing so well. He's playing well. And I know how much that team loves him. But I still think they're a dangerous team. They're going to be hard to beat still. They have one of the defenses like of them eras, right? I remember my day, back in the day, they had, 2010, 11, that San Francisco 49ers defense with Patrick Willis and guys.
Justin
Oh, my God.
Smith.
Legit. Yep. They were like legit. Then you look at the Seahawks. You look at the Ravens. This team right here, this defense, they're starting to get into that caliber of defense. So I think so. And then, like, Jimmy G, like, let's be honest here. Everybody loves Jimmy G, but let's just keep it real. He hasn't really done much in the playoffs. He wins the games because the team wins the games. Mm-hmm. But it ain't like he's out there just throwing dimes. So I'm sure if he could do the same thing of handing the ball off and making things happen like he did, he'll be okay.
He'll
be all right.
He'll be all right. I do think that the San Francisco 49ers are still Super Bowl contenders with Brock Purdy. Now, it's fascinating because we know Kyle Shanahan's record without Jimmy G is not anything to glow about. However, Brock Purdy is a more competent starter in my mind than the likes that Kyle Shanahan is used to in San Fran. C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, etc. Brock Purdy, who is he, first and foremost? 3 times first team All Big 12, 2 times first team, 1 time second team. Who is he? A person that's used to playing with NFL talent. Breece Hall was his running back at Iowa State. Who is he? A competent quarterback who's good enough at getting the ball out on time. Shady McCoy said something fascinating. I want to elaborate on that point. I don't yet think the Niners are the Seahawks circa 2013 to 2016. I don't think the Niners are the 2000 Baltimore Ravens as far as defensively, but they are the modern-day version of those teams. Mm-hmm. The NFL is so offensively friendly now that you cannot truly be that 2013 Seahawks because Cam Chancellors are extinct. But what you can do is still smack quarterbacks with Nick Bosa's, Fred Warner's, Greenlaw's, Hufungas, amongst others. So I still think they are contenders. Dave Helman, where do you stand?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a team that's built to withstand this, it's got to be the 49ers. I mean, we saw a similar situation where the Cowboys weathered a storm like this by asking a quarterback without a lot of NFL experience to just not mess it up. Cooper Rush did that, and I would argue, top to bottom, you got to feel better about what the 49ers are surrounding him with, whether it's one of the best left tackles in football, a crazy good wide receiver core, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, one of the best tight ends. Haven't even mentioned Christian McCaffrey. How is Christian McCaffrey like the 5th guy that I name on this offense? It's just to give you an idea. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we should undersell this. Like, you can't be excited if you're a Niner fan, right, about trying to win this division and go through the playoffs, winning 2-3 games to get to a Super Bowl. You can't be excited about asking a 7th-round rookie to do that. But if there's a team that I think can pull it off, I think it's the 49ers, and that's why I still think they're a contender.
Cooper Rush came in the middle of the regular season for the Dallas Cowboys.
Correct.
And won 4 games?
Yes.
Yeah. He did not step in for Jimmy Garoppolo, the San Francisco 49ers, in Week 14 and take them to the Super Bowl as the last pick in the NFL draft and a rookie, which is what we're asking Brock Purdy to do.
Correct. It sounds bad when you say it like that.
Contextualize this for a moment. I reserve the right to see a little bit more of Brock Purdy before I say they are still contenders. They are like 99% contenders. It's like birth control. But you're either pregnant or you're not. And that's what it is. Like, is Brock Purdy capable of getting the San Francisco 49ers to a Super Bowl as Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the NFL draft, and a rookie who has seen 4 fields of NFL play during the regular season and thrown passes in 2 of those games?
That's a lot.
Okay,
That's a lot.
Listen, I want to believe. You're absolutely right. If there's a team that can make me believe it, it's the San Francisco 49ers, because they are legit. And the defense, I don't know. I don't know if we can tell that story yet, if they're generational or not. Like, I think that they very much could be. And if they end up winning, getting to a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy in this situation, I think we have to put them in that category. They have all the pieces around that if he could just not mess it up, maybe it could happen. That is also, of course, disregarding any of the opponents that they would see in the postseason who would have more experience at the quarterback position.
A lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
And have had overall better seasons than San Francisco, if you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. And for that matter, the Minnesota Vikings, which none of us are really taking seriously, but they have had a better regular season.
Yeah, and then listen, something you can't replace is experience.
Right.
But I think experience goes with this, who's the experience you're talking about with different players. So let's take Jimmy G, right? Jimmy G, you say his experience.
The most.
And I think the reason why we're talking like this because not only is he young and Purdy was the last pick in the draft.
Right.
You know, Jimmy G has been there. He's experienced.
Yep.
But my thing is, when you really look at his numbers and really watch the game and watch Jimmy G, these playoffs and all his experience, and their playoff wins, right? This is so when they're winning games. They're averaging 190 yards rushing per game. Mm-hmm. Passing, they're averaging 115 yards. That's barely passing. That's barely throwing the ball, right? 40 carries per game to 17 passes a game. So when I look at them numbers, right, and of course, people love to act like Jimmy G is Joe Montana or Steve Young because of the winning, but he's not the one really winning. Mm-hmm. Who's winning is the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. They're winning. Hand the ball off to run the ball. So when I look at this team with Purdy as the quarterback, you take Jimmy G out, you put him in there, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing.
I'm hard pressed. I'm somewhere between y'all two. I'm hard pressed to say it's the same exact thing because if it was that easy, I do believe more people would do it. Right? If it was that easy to go to a Super Bowl and be 1 pass away from winning it, I believe more people would do it personally. So to me,
the defense is like a big
no doubt about
in the running game.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But
okay.
I've seen other teams have really good defenses and good running games. I'm somewhere though. What Joy is saying is I do feel you on needing to see more. I'm just thinking to myself, if there was ever a year for it to get done, for the Niners to still be able to go somewhere with the quarterback with no experience, this is a year. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings are a 2 seed. They got mollywopped by the Cowboys, and they got mollywopped by the Eagles. So they're vulnerable. The Buccaneers are currently the 4 seed. The Buccaneers were in a dogfight with the 4-win New Orleans Saints last night with the whole world watching.
Okay.
The 5 and 6 seed, 6 and 7 seed, Giants and the Commanders. So if there was every year, Rodgers ain't in here in his heyday. Brady's not in here in his prime. You got to deal with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. But, Shady, if you're going to talk about experience, thank the good Lord if you're a Niners fan, Jalen Hurts only got you by 1 playoff game. So it's not like Jalen Hurts has crazy experience.
115 yards per game.
No. Hold on.
Please.
No. Jalen Hurts doesn't have Brock Purdy by 1 playoff game. He has him by
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
And the playoff game.
True. Yeah.
Like Brock Purdy's not just a backup quarterback. He's a rookie, 3rd stringer. Listen, we're in Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood, by the way, Baker. Oh, you've been here before. You had lots of commercials. It's Hollywood. You're pitching me. Set the scene.
It's a good script.
Week 14, San Francisco 49ers, the number 1 defense, Kyle Shanahan. He's been there before. He's on his way back. The starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, much maligned, but he's having a sparky season, goes down with a foot injury. In comes Mr. Irrelevant. Rookie. Takes the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. It can happen. I'm just saying, can I wait till next week and I watch them against the Bucs
Fair.
before I jump to that conclusion?
Yeah, that's 100% fair.
Do y'all think that, so are you guys saying that, like, if he wasn't involved, would you say that Jimmy G took his team in 2019 to the...
Yeah, but He's a rookie. Like, let's not.
These are rookie numbers.
Yeah, but don't you think there's something to be said for playing 8-9 years in the league and going through the playoffs?
What we're asking Brock Purdy to do is not just unprecedented. It is a fantasy script for Hollywood. And I'm not saying it can't happen, because I legitimately think that San Francisco 49ers, top to bottom, outside of the most important position in the league, have that level. Coaching, weapons, defense, everything. They're locked in.
But they play like they got a rookie at quarterback, though. That's what I'm saying.
But he's not.
Well, what I'm saying is that they play like they have a rookie quarterback. The passes they throw are safe passes. They run the ball a lot. They throw a lot of screens. They play safe like they have a rookie. The reason why the Steelers decided to go with take Trubisky out and put Pickett in, because why not? This guy plays like a rookie. Put the rookie in.
I think two things can be true. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo can be a pretty unimpressive starter.
Basic.
And still be a guy that you trust. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings just there. But he can be unimpressive and still have a bona fide track record of going in, playing good football, and not screwing it up. I think all Joy is saying is that we haven't seen Brock Purdy not screw it up. Or at least, I mean, he did it once.
We haven't seen Brock Purdy.
Last game.
We've seen Brock Purdy in one game.
Right.
Yeah.
Just get 100 yards a game, bro. And you do the same as my man.
I think it's a little.
They do the same thing.
I don't disagree. But
You can't disagree.
But here's what you know, though, Shady.
What's up?
You not only can rush for touchdowns, you can fumble the ball. The first thing you got to do is not fumble the ball. Okay. So what I'm saying is the first thing that Brock Purdy has to do is not turn the ball over.
I'm glad you said that.
I can buy that. That's like the bare minimum. Listen, go out there, hit the ball well, don't fumble. But this is my thing, because we all talk about experience all the time. So would it be safer to have a guy like Jimmy G, right, playing in the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl, or a guy like Hurts? I just want to know, like, how y'all think about that. Because you would say Jimmy G is experienced and this, that, and the third. He's been there before. And my guy, right, Hurts, but in the playoffs, lost. Played bad in the playoffs.
I personally would probably say Jimmy G. But the reason, because I genuinely do value experience. And I genuinely
Even
value
this experience?
Jimmy G's experience?
Yeah. The
because
40 carries, 17 passes a game, the 115 yards. Like, you have to try to do that.
It's hard. It's hard to win in the playoffs. It's hard to win in the playoffs.
And you know.
It's hard to win, but, like, when you playing like this, you ain't even doing nothing.
But, Shady, you know, big dog, even when you step on a playoff field, you're a little bit more jittery. You're a little bit more anxious. You're a little bit more nervous.
I think y'all really, like, playoffs is serious. It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
But the way y'all going about this, like, I'm just being honest, they're not throwing the ball a lot.
They're not.
So if you're not to throw picks, it's not the hard, because you're not really throwing the ball, right? And you're not really, we run the ball every play. They average 40 carries.
It's not a quarterback-driven team, which is why I think everybody isn't as panicky as they would be if this was any other organization.
The defense.
That's fair. Listen, personally, I'm rooting for it, because this is a whole different world, and I can't wait to see what happens.
It will be fascinating.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.